Hello and welcome once again to Vocal Rogue, aka Podcast of the Four Horsemen, through to episode 17, Making Changes, Coming Together. And on today's show we do have Safety Guide Foundation. Absolutely brilliant. We've been following Safety Guide for quite a long time now. They're a Manchester-based business, a nice charity, and we've been following for so long now because they do so much for the community, do so much for wellbeing and anti-bullying and so forth. They're really, really nice people, and we're here today to highlight and promote what they're doing for the country and for the community so that we can get this to everybody on the podcast all around the world, from America all the way over to Australia. So today I'd like to welcome Byron, Highton and Robin Reid. So what we're going to do, I'm going to make Byron introduce himself and tell you a bit about himself before we go into the episode.
First of all, my name's Byron Highton.
Thank you.
That's going to be an ongoing joke now, Mr. Highton. I wish. I'm Byron Highton. I work for the Safety Guide Foundation. I'm the anti-knife crime teacher, motivational speaker, and the manager of the knife crime division. And I go around the country educating children on the effects that knife crime can have on families. I lost my brother in 2014 to knife crime. I just use that pain and that negative part of my life as now my weapon to better young people's minds, lives, and keeping children safe in education. And I work alongside, obviously, I get lucky to work alongside an amazing boxer like Robin Reid as well. So it's good going.
Yeah, Robin Reid, we've all grown up to see him in Wolverhampton and surrounding areas, a well-known boxer who I've grown up to be watching on the telly. Absolutely fantastic guy as well. So Robin, just say hello to the audience and just give them a little bit about you.
Yeah, morning guys, my name's Robin Reid. I'm a former 3-time world champion and a former Olympic bronze medalist. I'm also the director at Safety Guide Foundation, director also of Safe Start, which is going to be our alternative provision that we're setting up at the moment, which is soon to be opened. What we're doing, like just touching on what Byron said, we're going into the community, schools, colleges, boxing clubs, after school clubs, making the kids, getting the kids aware on the anti-knife crime campaign that we're doing, the anti-bullying campaign that we're doing. Because like you say, knife crime's rife all over the country, not just Manchester, Birmingham. It's all over the country, and that's what Byron's doing. He's, it's a tragic story about his brother, but he's going into schools, colleges, talking about his story. Hopefully to make the young kids and youth of today aware of the dangers of knife crime, and also bullying. Because I was bullied as a kid, believe it or not, as a world champion. A lot of people are surprised, but I was bullied as a kid, mainly racism, and it's just, that's my story, talking to the kids about, the effects that bullying can have on people, and just how to overcome it. And I went on to become a world champion, but the message we're trying to get to the kids is it doesn't have to be boxing, it can be football, it can be bodybuilding, it can be any sport, it can be a hobby, anything they're into, anything to focus on, to stay away from this, the gang culture, the knife crime, the bullying, and all the adverse things in young lives these days. So that's what we're doing.
And we've got to do that, Robin, because like I says, I grew up, I was a little, I won't say a bad boy, I like to fight and that. Yes, as he says, Robin, through to racialism and racism and so forth. So this is the thing that we have to send out, and this message, and it's not going to take one person to send this message out, what you're sending yourselves. We sent out a message as well. We've opened a football team in the instance of fighting knife crime, and they're in the Warsaw Junior Youth League, and they're doing absolutely brilliant, and the names are Jubilee Jaguars, and they were ex-West Bromwich United coaches, and they lost their jobs, and we took them on and opened Jubilee Jaguars. So like I said, we're going to be working with you very, very closely as well, because what we believe in is what you're doing for the kids and for the community is absolutely brilliant. We need to make these kids understand that yes, there is going to be times in your life that you're going to be fearful, but you haven't got to turn that fearfulness into negativity, because that's what usually happens sometimes. They're fearful of themselves, because we're all fearful at something.
Exactly, yeah. But it's human nature.
It's human nature, but then we got the hyena pack mentality now, where before, when I was a kid growing up, it used to be you had to fight on your own.
Yeah.
Nobody joined in the fight. You fight on your own, and after that fight, testosterone levels went away, and you ended up becoming friends. Now it's a pack mentality, and this is what we've all got to try and change. So Byron, what I would like you to do, because I still want people to understand and let them feel where Safety Guy is coming from, could you just give them a guideline of what you went through with your brother, please?
Yeah, I was sat at home playing PlayStation, I think it was, in 2013. Yeah, 2013, and obviously I was at home minding my own business. I was just relaxing after a day at work in the gym, and then obviously the street like lit up like Beirut, like a war scene, if you will. The ambulances, there was a helicopter, police cars, everyone was screaming. So I went to the front door, and just as I got to the front door, someone was trying to kick my front door through, and when I opened it, it was my brother's friends, saying I need to say bye to my brother, you know, you think he's going to die, etc., things like that. So I ran, and before you know it, I was in the ambulance with him. So, you know, 1 minute I'm at home playing PlayStation, next minute I'm in the back of an ambulance, you know, holding his hand, like watching him die. He got stabbed 24 times the first time with a machete. So, you know, that kind of stuff messes with your head, you know.
It should.
Yeah, every time I do the talk, it like sort of like now I can speak about it now because I've not got the trigger. I call them trigger pictures to trigger my PTSD. So I'm alright now. So yeah, then obviously, he, don't know how, he was like 1 in a million, he survived. I met the paramedic a few months later at some knife crime thing. I think it was Hutton police station, and he said, "Oh my God, Job, I was one of the paramedics with your brother." He said he's seen a great white shark bite with less injuries. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
But he survived, Jay, you know what I mean? He got a job. I mean, I know people my age who don't work and have got no excuse not to work, but my brother had like a fractured spine and all sorts, and he got a job.
He still went to
he still went to work, yeah. So I remember him saying to him, Mummy, like, if you met my brother, it was like a massive, he was like 6 foot tall, he was massive. And you know, you knew not to sort of mess with him kind of thing, but he was a nice lad at the same time. Everyone loved him, he had a heart of gold. And then my mum said, "Bloody hell, Jon-Jo's just run me." Well, seen him, and he said he's scared. You don't want to get stabbed again, you know. So that's
because he's mental issues with your brain.
A bit. So he didn't want to be in that sort of culture anymore. So he changed. He got a job, stuff like that. And then, you know, he's got a son. Still got a son now, obviously. And then a year later, I think it was 2 weeks prior after his 18th birthday, he was stabbed again in the same street, the same area, the same spot, just because some of his friends did something the night before that he was not involved in. He got brought into it, and he got stabbed numerous times, and the fatal blow to the neck, and that's when he died. I think he died like he said something like between 30 and 45 seconds max. He was dead.
See, this is the thing, people. Kids, you need to understand what you're doing with this pack mentality. We really need to try and do something. And like I said, it's not going to take one of us. It's not going to take one campaign. It's not going to take one charity. It's going to take everybody coming together to make this change. And if people don't believe me, what I'm saying today, mark this day today that I told you, it's going to take everybody to come together to make this change. Individually, it's not going to work. And I don't want to, you know, mess with anybody's parade, but it's not going to work individually. You have to come together because you have to understand how pack mentality works. Once you understand how a pack mentality works, then you'll know how to break down the pack mentality. But it's going to take all of us. And Robin, I would like you just to highlight as well about that, you know, the bullying and what you went through yourself to get people to understand why we've come today and understand why Safety Guide Foundation is now, you know, being promoted around the world now.
Yeah, I mean, I was brought up in foster care. I was in a kids' home at the age of 6 months. I think I was fostered out at the age of, I think it was 3 or 4 to my foster parents, my foster mum, foster dad, and I was with them, you know, till now. But I mean, I was born in Liverpool. We moved to a little town called Runcorn at the time, which was a new town, and I was the only mixed race kid in our junior school and in the senior school. I think there was 2 or 3 of us in the senior school. So the junior school, I got for it, you know. I mean, I understand now I'm older and wiser, you know, but I didn't understand it, you know, like why I was getting picked on, the racist names, the N-word getting dropped all the time, and that used to crucify, it really used to break my heart. I mean, I used to get into fights because of the bullying. I didn't want to. I was forced into that position, you know. I'd try and take a different route home, you know, and it was always the older lads as well. They were always a couple of years older than me, you know. They'd find out where I was and they'd hunt me down, if you like.
Listen, it's the truth.
We're talking about the hyenas. These guys, I remember them. They used to hunt me down practically. You know, used to find where I was going, which way I was going home, corner me off, and it was me and a couple of mates, and we were just quiet kids, you know. We were the odd bunch, if you like. We just quiet, kept ourselves to ourselves. You know, my friends, they weren't fighters. you know, so we got into position again, you know, and I knew it was coming, you know, and I didn't want to fight, but I got in a position where I had to, you know, they grabbed me, pushed me about, punched me or whatever. And I'll be honest, this is even before I got into boxing, I always come out, you know, okay, you know what I mean, I could defend myself. I mean, I'm not, you know, saying that's what you should do, but, you know, backed into a corner, you need to defend yourself sometimes.
We had to, and I have to make people understand how racism affected me. Racism turned a small young lad into a nice little lad, run around,
exactly,
really, and it turned me into, I'm going to say to people, a violent person. And I don't mean violent as in I go around and cause trouble. No, it was violent to defend myself, because when you're getting 20 people around you calling you derogative names and so forth, they think that it's kind of like a laugh and a joke, but they don't really understand how you're affecting that child. You're affecting the child's well-being. Go and affect an adult. Leave the kids alone. Stop affecting each other, giving people nervous breakdowns, because mental issues start from things. Sometimes it just comes because you probably had food or your body or your metabolism or whatever, but majority of times it's forced on you by society. So what I would like to say is, at Volkerog, we love what you're doing. We absolutely love it. I've been speaking to you for a bit now, Byron, to say like how much we want to work together and spread this word. So I would like to say, how did SGF eventually come about?
It started in 2016, obviously with the likes of Rob, Matt and a few other directors. He had a vision. They stuck to it, you know. I think we sent out something ridiculous, like over a million books for free, and they're not cheap books. You can imagine they are proper, and some of them are written. The Knife Crime one that I'm in as well is written by an ex-police officer. So, you know, they did go the extra mile. When people say to us, I say, how are you doing this job? How are you doing it? But we don't realise, but until I started 8-9 months ago, something like that, the energy and stuff that the directors believed and put all their funds into, and now it's grown. And like I say, when we go to talks, Rob gets people saying, "Oh my God, I'm looking at bullying differently." I got an inbox the other day after doing a talk with a guy saying he come to my talk saying he's changed his life. That's the reward. That's the fruit. That's the fruit of the growing, if you will. You know what I mean? That's the prize.
It's like, I mean, obviously I attend Byron's talks. I mean, how we originally started, I was freestyle. I'll be old, man. We were freestyling. I mean, I was going to schools and I was just talking about my experience, like I'm talking to you. You know, I was just everything off the top of my head. I was freestyling, and it worked. Don't get me wrong. You know, but then Byron came along. You know, with telling his story, and he's made it more structured, his PowerPoints and everything. It's a lot more present. I'm not saying that wasn't present. It worked for what we did.
But you got to start from somewhere.
Exactly. You know, our audience was young kids at the time. You know, and now, you know, the knife crime side of it is more. They all, you know, getting into the older teens and whatnot. So, you know, and I the first time because do you remember when we did the first one at the boxing club?
I have a piece of paper. Time I met him. Yeah, off a piece of paper. Now we've both got laptops.
No, but it was brilliant. You know, it was brilliant. What he did off the top of his head. You know, we were all. I mean, I still get nervous now doing it. And that's a good thing, because I always say if you're not nervous, there's something not right. And I remember we were doing a talk at the boxing club. And it went really, really well. And this was the first time I met the guy and the first time I heard the story. And I was in tears. I'll admit, I'm in tears every time, don't get me wrong, because it's such
we made a guy collapse. We did it last week, and I've made my story. But we don't really talk anymore. We've both got stories on laptops. You know? It's like you're watching a mini film through bullying and knife crime. And then next minute, a girl went outside. And where's she going? And someone collapsed on the floor. They were crying that much at the talk. They went outside.
But is that powerful? That's how powerful
I've made my own little formula. And then Rob's got his own little formula, and this is why what we do works, because we sit in this office and we just do it to the point where now
it's just natural.
You just the next step. You need to come see what we do. Bring your tissues.
No, but this is the thing. This is the power and what I want to get across to the audience, because like I said, our audience is all around the world.
And these are real stories. See, these are real stories.
Real stories.
Life stories.
Yeah, we're here to get people to listen in, understand, relate to the person, see where they're coming back. And I remember even growing up in Birmingham and Wolverhampton, I remember Jon-Jo. I remember the story. So I remember the first time I seen it, and it came up on the telly, and I was like, what's going on here? So, you know, I'm a young lad myself at the time, and I'm like, what's going on? Is this what everything's turned out to be? Because before, you put your Long Islands up, which is your fists, and you fought it out, and once the testosterone gone, you could be friends again.
I mean, that's what I say, it's like, you know, I'm 48 years of old. I know I don't look it, but I'm 48 years, a lot younger audience. But anyway, like you say, and when we're doing that, so it's like there's a surprising thing for me, and when you know, because obviously Byron does his talk about the knife crime and stuff, and I have to say, you know, that like when I was a kid, there was no knife crime. I mean, the only things that like you know involving knives, you were talking like mass murderers. You were talking like you know Jack the Ripper, the Yorkshire Ripper, and that was big news. That was a shock. You weren't hearing the kids. We used to, and I'll hold my hands up. As kids, we used to carry little pocket knives for chipping wood in the
to take over the field.
Yeah, to win the field.
Go make little fires and stuff.
Chip a stick and that was it. Nobody was thinking about sticking them in other people and all. If you had a fisticuff, you had a fisticuff, then that was it. And it's unfortunately, you know, we've got to the times we're in now. You know, we talk about it in our talks. Social media, peer pressure. Do you know what I mean? It's like you know, like and part of obviously Byron's talk is you know the machetes. Our kids are walking about these seat with machetes down the pants and thinking they're bigger. You know, and what you know, I'm not calling these guys as such, but what I'm saying is there's a problem somewhere. There's a root of problem. We need to get to that. Peer pressure. Yeah, it's peer pressure. Yeah, because a lot of you can't tell me out of a gang of 10, all them gang of 10. They're all wrong, you know, they're all evil or they're all wrong.
No,
they're not. They're following the mates. You carry this, you carry that.
Where did you get this idea from? You've got to have been taught it or you've got to have seen it from somewhere to come with this pack mentality. And I say to people, I like to speak open and truth, and this is going to probably sound wrong, but I'm not really bothered if it sounds wrong. It's the point I'm trying to make. When I was a kid, I says we used to fight Long Islands. Yeah. There used to be fights, but there wouldn't be a lot of fights. Do you know why there wasn't used to be like X amount of fights? Because the guys who used to be scared knew when to sit down and behave. Yeah. Now it's guys that are scared in a pack mentality going around doing all stabbings.
Yes, exactly.
But then what they don't realise, because they're in the pack mentality thinking that they're all the big I ams, it's all right when you're stabbing him. It's okay, you probably ain't going to feel nothing. But as soon as that guy dies, you're going to have to live with these flashbacks for the rest of your days. In that prison, in your cell, when no one's coming to see you, you're going to be feeling these pressures. And you're going to wish you'd never done it, but it's going to be too late. And this is going to be a consequence for the rest of your life where no one wants to hire you, no one wants to give you a job, no one wants to do nothing for you. And we're trying to prevent you. It's a prevention as well as it happening. We've got to try and prevent this. And I love what Byron, Robin, Stu, Safety Guide Foundation are doing. Example with Alison Cope and so forth. I'm going to get all these people to work together because I believe what they're doing is such a fantastic thing, because I've had friends that have lost to knife crimes. I've had friends lost to gun crimes and so forth. So I know firsthand of the experience of how it feels when it's somebody you love that's passed away. Just like Byron knows, you know what it feels. And you've got to understand, people, it never leaves you. Even though you can live, every day is a day-by-day situation, but it never leaves you. You'll be sitting there watching the telly, slap bang, in your head, flashback, and you'll always keep remembering it. You'll hear something on the telly, flashbang, bang, what's happening? So I'd like you to tell the people, what do you have for future references, what you want to do moving forward?
I want to build an empire. I mean, I'm talking to one of my friends called Ben. He's an ex-gang member. You know, he don't really mind me talking about him. Really, he talks about me all the time in his talks, and he does gang-related talks. And basically, obviously, he's an ex-gang member. And I want to build up on that. I want to have it so like we've got Rob doing bullying, we've got me doing knife crime, we've got Ben potentially, hopefully in the future, doing that. I want to build something where me and Rob have got such a powerful team that we can do it all. To be fair, we're doing most of it ourselves by now, but we want an empire of what we can do. We want to be countrywide. I want it to be in education. I want my talk, especially both our talks, to be in education, because when you witness the talk, you realise how hard hitting it is. Then you listen. Like that. That's when you get them. You see their eyes go from not listening to listening. And then, as I say, we've done this talk to police, and we've had them in tears. We've done it to fire brigade. We've had them in tears. And politicians went to House of Parliament, didn't they? And they was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? And when people see it, even ITV came and recorded my talk the other day, and they sent me a message saying, I've never seen. We'll put it this way. I've had now. First of all, I ignored it. The second time, I listened a little bit. The third time, I was like, hang on, something's not right. I've had 3 separate people that are all from... One was from the fire brigade, one was from the TV, I think it was BBC, and one was someone who works in Preston, kind of like high up in Preston, like runs Preston, and all three, MP or something. I can't remember what her name was, and all three of them, in 3 separate occasions over the last 9 months, have said that what they've just witnessed is the best in the country, or nearly the best in the country. And I'm high school dropout,
and
dyslexic,
you wouldn't believe getting
and I
all
can't
this
do it.
feedback.
And it's hard to believe. And all I've done is taken my pain and used it as a weapon. Like you were saying, then I related to everything you said. Then when you have these flashbangs, I only found out when I started working for the company a few months down the line. I get really upset in my talks, sweaty. I've got PTSD.
I've got
PTSD. Yeah. So and as you say, I'll be watching TV. And like something will go off in my head, and next minute I'm thinking about. I can talk about it now because it's easy. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat. And I'll think about hanging myself. Yeah. And I swear down on my brother's grave. I remember telling my mum only about a month ago, and she was in tears. And she's like, "I can't believe you've been thinking about it. I've been doing that for 5 years.
Yeah, I know.
I can't control it." And he goes, then it goes, and it's like, wow, why didn't I think about that then? And then I'll be randomly in the shower. I'll just cry, and then or random things like that. And then every day I do the talk, it happens. The only difference is I sort of learn how to sort of grab hold of it and use it as a weapon, kind of thing. But I just, at the same time, I always relate to people. What about them sad people, who are lonely and they do end up taking their lives? It's like, it's such a shame that I'm managed to grab hold of it and be like, putting the middle finger up to it, and I'm like, I'm going to use you as a weapon. But then these other people don't have that opportunity. They don't, and it's like, and then they end up taking the life. It's when you think about taking your life, and you're actually going to do it. Like a friend of mine saved my life once, called Chad. He stopped me from killing myself a few weeks after my brother. I just feel so bad when you hear it in the news, because you're like, geez, I wonder if they had a mate like Chad, they would still be here. Or I wonder if they had friends like us that could do this, and if they'd be still alive.
If they had the support, line coming. Because myself, I tried to take my life myself. So
it's weird. I hear so many people saying, "Oh yeah, how did he do that? How imagine what it feels like." But he said, when I listen to people say that, it could be in a nightclub. I've had loads of occasions. Someone's saying something about suicide, and they'll go, "As if they've done that. What a fool!" But then in my head, I'm like, "You don't know what that swat. You ever had that light switch in your head go switch, and then luckily someone switched mine off, and then now I've got this job, and I use it. I suffer every day, but I suffer, and I get texts like, "You've changed my life." So it's sort of.
It's a balancing act.
Basically balances out. Sort of, to speak. You know what I mean? And then it kills me when he goes on about scratching his skin. I'm like, oh my god.
See, this is the knock-on effect that we're talking about. You were saying earlier about this is what these kids ain't thinking. They're living for the here and now. They've got a knife in the hand. They're backed into a corner. They stab someone, and that in their head, that's it. But it's not it. It's the knock-on effect. You've taken a life.
They've got another 70 years of their life to live like me. I've been living like this for 5 years, and I can hold my hand up and say the average person lives to 73.4 years. Let's say 74 years. So for the next 50 years, I'm going to feel like this.
But you are.
It's like with the PTSD, we learnt about ACEs last week, didn't we, Rob? And the chemical imbalance in your brain, why you get PTSD, why you get ADHD, why these kids do these bad things when they
see, and that's it's understanding the kid, what the position they're putting themselves in. Not that they're putting themselves in, that they are in. That's why I'm saying, not all kids that are running about with knives or bullying are wrong-uns. They're not necessarily wrong-uns. There's probably deep issues with them. It's like we were talking the other day. They might not even they come home after school. I've got a little boy of 8. I take him to school and pick him up. We've got a great relationship. I pick him up. I ask him what he's done. Have you had a good day? Have you had a good day in school today, champ? Yeah. Now he's not brilliant at spelling. We've got his doing spellings this morning. So we're rushing to school doing his spellings, and he was struggling a bit. Do you know what I mean? But I still give him praise. Don't worry, champ. Don't worry, you'll be all right. Yeah, but Daddy, what if I don't get 8 out of 8? Don't worry about it, champ. Do your best, and that's what it's about. Making them kids feel feel special, feel something. If they don't even get a hello, how was school today when they get home from school? They feel worthless, don't they? So they go upstairs, they're on their computer, they're on the laptop, they're on the social media.
All the violence.
Exactly, what are you up to? You go and hang out the park, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? So that's where it's starting. They've got nothing else to do. Nobody's showing them any attention back. I'm not saying that's always the problem. Do you know what I'm saying? peer pressure again.
It's peer
coming
pressure.
out about the
Yeah,
park,
it is.
next minute you're up to no good, you've got yourself in trouble. Like I say, they're living for the here and now at the age of 15, 16. What they're forgetting is, they're going to want to have kids settled down at 25,
years.
30, another 70 years of your life.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it for the sake of...
because at 17 you go and stab that person. You're not going to have your kids for now.
Exactly.
Just remember, you got this dream, you want a kid, I want a life. You won't have these things because what happens is, like we're saying about peer pressure, it's like we're all like friends, and then I says, oh, Robin, go and do that. Robin, go and do that.
That's
and then you got the
it's
grooming, and then you got the big kids.
It's so frightening how I do it in my talks, right?
Yeah,
you say to kids, blah, 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 if your mate says you used to do this for 100 quid, would you do it? And they're all a bit silent. I go, you do know if you say, yeah, that's grooming. No one wants to be labelled as being grooming. And they all change the tone, don't they?
Yeah, with society, is it? You mentioned grooming, people automatically think sexual grooming, and that's not. It's not just sexual.
Grooming's on a bigger scale.
Now, when we're doing our talks, it's like I've only just realised myself now, over the last year or so, that I could have gone down that path. I mean, I was generally a good kid. Do you know what I mean? It was like I say, I got bullied and all the rest of it, but I was still a good kid. But I could have. I mean, I got into boxing. I'm not, because I don't want to be one of these people who's boxing saved me as such. You know what I mean? If I hadn't got into boxing, I'd have been a wrong 'un. I'm not going to say that because I don't know. I was generally a good kid anyway. I got into boxing not just because of the bullying. My foster dad used to watch a bit of boxing, and you want to do what your dad does, don't you? Do you know what I mean? I got to stay up a bit later, so I'm watching this Sugar Ray Leonard, and I'm thinking, wow, look at these guys. Do you know what I mean? And Sugar Ray Leonard, good-looking guy, big afro coming out, he looks the part. He's got all the cockiness, and I'm thinking, wow. Do you know what I mean? Here's me copping for all the name calling and feeling low about myself, no confidence. Then you've got this guy walking out, and I thought, wow, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could do that. I'm only wishing it.
No. You don't want to, because it's like this. Everybody comes to me as well and they go, oh, your podcast is brilliant. It's brilliant. It's this, it's that. It's this, it's that. Oh, I love the way how you present yourself. Yeah, I'm a confident person, but I'm going to tell anybody that's confident, you're not really as confident as you really feel. It's just about putting that one step forward. That's how I'm going to call it. It's put one step forward, because there's apprehension, there's fear, there's so forth.
That's human nature.
It's human nature. It's in me, it's in you, it's in everybody, politician, the Queen, everybody's got it in them. And it's about just trying to put that one step forward. Don't try and make big steps. Put one step forward and move like that, because you get people scared to open up and talk, and they're timid. It's just that we all got to talk together, like we're talking today. Look how we talk today. The feedback that you're going to get off this with the people around the world is going to be humongous. We as Vocal Rogue, we want to help spread your name. We want to be with you like forever. As in, we're all working together, and we want to make these things work. We've got other companies, other charities that I want you to work with as well. Let's start talking to each other. Because I believe if we talk to each other, I could be here with something that you need that could help you. You could have something I need that could help me, but I don't know. And how are we going to know about it? By communicating and talking. So, as you can see, people, this is a big, wide aspect showing you how PTSD can happen. So we had Andrew Chi Osborne, on our Hall of Famer, 8-time Hall of Famer from Wolverhampton. He went through the same thing, PTSD. Guy came to his workplace. He was a security guard. Guy's come in. He's got a baseball bat, knives, nails in it, builder's belt, knives in it, and came to attack him. Come up to him and he goes, "Are you Andrew Osborne?" He's gone like, "Yeah." He goes, "How can I help you? Because I'm here to kill you and your family today." And that sent him into PTSD. And you know who helped him out? The Speakmans that come onto ITV morning, and that they were the ones that took him and brought him back around.
And that's all. I mean, I'd say everybody, might need that, but it might just maybe be able to reach out to someone. It's just
reach out to anybody. I'm not bothered about fame. Fame doesn't bother me, because we're all human beings at the end of the day. Like we says, we all feel hurt. We all feel emotions. Let's all start working together, and let's start looking out for each other. As today you can see the pain, because I'm sitting here now and I tell you, and I just look over at Byron and I can see the pain in him. I can see it in his eyes. I can see the enthusiasm, the passion in the both of them that really want to make this work. And with us at Vocal Rogue, we're going to help them. I can guarantee that everything that we do here, we everything that we've said, we've done, we've made it a reality, and this is what we're going to do. We need to start helping, and kids, you need to start helping yourself, because it does boil down to choices as well.
Yeah, exactly. You're right there. I mean, like you say, there's choices.
It does boil down to
at
choices.
the age, they're only thinking of the here and now at the minute. They're not thinking about the rest of their lives or the rest of the other people's lives. It's like you say, you get a gang of kids bullying one kid. Put yourselves in that position, yeah. Put yourselves in that position of the kid you're bullying, or you're calling names that you think is just a bit harmless. I'm saying a few names, yeah. That's what I was getting called. I swear that it scarred me for life. I still remember it now, and I wish I could go back and tell that kid who was me as a kid, listen, it gets better. Do you know what I mean? Because we were talking earlier about suicide. I used to have suicide. I didn't realise until recently, didn't I? We've been talking.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
Since doing this job, he's seen me upset. I've seen him upset. Next minute, I'll say to him, "Jesus Christ, Rob, I didn't know you did that to yourself." Then he'll go, I didn't know I felt like I was a kid.
Yeah, because I didn't realise until I got older. I was having suicide. I wasn't thinking of killing myself or taking my own life. Exactly at the age of. I mean, I'm talking about the age of 6. I remember like when I tell part of my story, I'll say, like, you know, most kids, birthdays, they're blowing out the candles on the birthday cakes, they make a wish, yeah, and they're wishing for big presents or loads of money or whatever. I was wishing not to be there. You know, I was wishing I was dead, or I wasn't there. I was away from that situation of that constant harassment day in, day out. And like you say, it wasn't the physical side that got me, the fighting and that. It was the names. It was the verbal. That's when you put it to some of these kids and you say, like, you know, what's the worst? And a lot of them will say the physical, because it is, because it hurts and it's. But it was the words for me. Then I'd be stood there and remember it was break time or dinner time. You know, on second year senior school. You know, you got like the 4th year lads. 5, 6, 7, 10 of them stood round me, dragging me out in the middle of the break, and they're calling me these names. I'm thinking, oh, please don't say it, not in front of everybody.
Don't embarrass me.
Please don't say the N-word in front of everybody. Boom, he'd drop it, and I'd be, and that was worse than getting punched. That was worse than getting punched.
I'd have rather took the punch, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather have took the punch than that word in front of everybody. You know what I mean? It was embarrassing and humiliating. I mean, and now, you know, I'm not condoning that word, but, you know, in rappers and rap songs,
they need to
that
change
word,
themselves.
Yeah, but that word now, I mean, I'm not saying, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but in my eyes, that word will never be good, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But rappers, black rappers and whatnot, yeah, the word isn't offensive. It's offensive, but the tone, did you get what I'm saying?
What they did with
they've turned
the word. They turned the word around so they could stop using it as a derogative
word, yeah. I'm not saying it's a good...
Yeah, we're going to switch it back again, so we're going to say it, but now you can't say it.
Yeah, exactly. But back in my day, the word was derogative, full stop. It was a big word. And I was getting called it walking home from school. You know what I mean? You're walking home from school and just a gang of lads across the way, yo, you know, drop the N-word down, you think, oh my God. Do you know what I mean? I can't get away from it no matter where I go, do you know what I mean? And like you say, as a 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old kid, you don't understand yourself. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why is this happening to me? You don't know. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm older and wiser. The kids that were doing it to me, they probably didn't realise. Peer pressure, like you say.
But you've got to remember,
they didn't realise probably.
You have to remember that when people talk about racism, I say to racism because I'm older now, more wiser, like he says, as we says, Robin, me and you were the same age. I'm a lot more wiser. It's something that's passed on.
Yeah.
Racism's passed on.
Exactly, yeah.
It's something that passes on. So, example with the kids, like the kids today, some guy in the house got a machete, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This is the kids thinking it's the big thing, since sliced bread. And now this kid wants to be like this kid. So there's peer pressure there, straight away there, without even realising.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, we're training ACEs now, and I'm a bit of a science buff. I put it all into my talks, really, because science, I don't care what anyone says, science don't lie. It's as simple as that. If you saw a UFO, you believe in a UFO, don't you?
It's a UFO.
So you got to believe what you believe in.
Yeah.
And ACEs is adverse childhood experiences. I'm reading it off paper because I always say one of the words wrong. And it has been scientifically proven that if a kid, like Rob, for example, that's why I'm going to go into it now, like he's suffered all that racism as growing up. These release chemicals in the brain called noradrenaline.
Yes.
Okay, that's my PTSD. The problem with noradrenaline is it triggers like your fight response. Your fight or fight. Yeah. Other times Rob was walking down the street, he's thinking you get that adrenaline, don't you? You feel like you're gonna wee your pants, you know. And all the chemicals released in your body. The problem is with noradrenaline, when it's released for prolonged periods of time, when you shouldn't be in fight or flight mode, your brain knows, why am I in this all the time? That affects your brain. And the thing is, when kids, I've got the paper here. We're trained in this now, and this has been, let's say, saying scientifically proven or global, so this is now fact, that's why we're trained in it. If a child has 4 or more bad experiences as a child, for example, racism that Rob had, suicidal thoughts that Rob had, being bullied, that's another one, foster care, parent separation, murder, death, adult, you know, you can imagine that some children are scoring a 10 plus. I scored a 7 on mine, but luckily, you know, some people look, like I say, a lot of mine still look, I met the right people and stuff like that, coming from a very bad dad when I was younger, facing jail sentences, things like that, and I managed to just tip over the edge, and I went on the right path, so to speak. But listen to how scary this is, right? So if a child has had this, I know this, but I'm reading it off here, so it's more scientific. If a child's got 4 or more experiences in a young, let's say pre-teenager life, or it could even go into the to the teens. They're 3 times more likely to have cardiac disease or type 2 diabetes. They're 16 times more likely to use drugs, including cocaine or heroin, and they are 20 times more likely to have gone to prison at any point of their life. Now, when you add all that into, this is my theory, a bit long-winded, but let's see if you both agree. I think Rob's heard it before. My theory of knife crime, okay? I believe the last generation, because the generation before, without even knowing, educates the generation after.
Yes.
Peer pressure. I want to be like that. I want to wear that shell tracksuit. You know, whenever. Yeah. I want to be a football hooligan. And it goes and goes on. And now, you know, now you've got. Look at who. Now you've got hooligans seems to have died down a bit, but knife crimes have gone up. So you add aces into the mix now, okay? So you've got aces. This is only just come around recently, okay? Right. So, but now you've got that in your head, right? I'll tell you my reason for knife crime, what I believe. I truly believe between 1990 and year 2000 was the last generation of people that had structure, as in how to be raised right to an extent.
Yes.
The first experience of punishment and being put on the right track is by the parent. Let's remove that now, because if you smack your child in public,
you can't do nothing.
You shout at your child in public, you will get harassed as a bad parent. Social media will hound you, and before you know it, the neighbours can see child services are at your door. Remove that. So we've not got that, right? So little smack bum baby, now crying, wants sweets, gets everything it wants. Pass that on to the level 2, let's call it, primary school, okay? Teachers can't even show anger in their voice.
Don't even raise
their voice, because they will offend somebody. All right, no matter what that should be. Yes, exactly.
It's gone wrong.
So remember, you still got aces in your head, okay? So that child now is going into the you know, in high school where you do get that. Everyone knows, no matter what generation we're high school, it's difficult for some people. I was quite popular, but it's still difficult for me.
It's still difficult for everybody, because you're learning your way.
So then the high school teachers are dealing with they're on level 3 now. They're dealing with level 3 of wow, what is this child doing? They're trying to help this kid. Don't want to listen to it, because he's never had rules before in their life. He or she has never had rules to follow or punishment for their actions. Okay. Aces is still in your mind. Okay. So now they're scoring, let's say, a 6. Then they enter the big bad world. Police can't do anything
to them.
Parents
can't tell them nothing.
People are more quicker to get their phones out recording the police. You see these videos all over social media, and everyone's there's a million comments slagging the police off, but you don't even know that guy could have had a knife 10 minutes ago. Okay, so then add the aces again, the back of your head, so we're scoring high now, okay, and then they finally get caught for doing something. They go to the prisons, and the justice system is so backwards. They end up going in prison with PlayStations, Xboxes, stuff like that.
Like a holiday.
Yeah, like a holiday. It is. I've heard people say that prison was like a holiday.
I've known people who have been in jail, come out and said, "Oh, we're better off in there."
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we're better off in there.
So you add all that together into a pan, and the final ingredient is how social media is like nitrous to an argument. You add peer pressure in. You add the lack of no rules, you stir that up and pour it out, and you have served up a culture and a generation of people that have got no rules
and restrictions no morals, no rules.
No, it's like you can talk to a 13-year-old. Like when I was a 13-year-old, even though I was quite a bad 13-year-old when I was younger, I was still a kid. I was still in my popper trackies, my Reebok trainers. I was still having an ice pop on the street, riding my bike, putting a can in it. But I was bad. you know, but I was still a child.
Yeah.
You talk to a 13-year-old now,
No.
you can go in a nightclub and a 13-year-old, I'm telling you now, a 13-year-old could be out looking 22, getting served alcohol.
No, it's fact.
So there's no such thing now. I truly believe there's no such thing as teenage years. I believe you are born, you're a child, you're an infant,
And then adult.
At the age of 12. And the problem is, that period of time, you're between 13 and 21, is when you are supposed to make mistakes. You're supposed to cheat, you know, it sounds bad.
You're supposed to steal something from the shop, stole something out your mum's purse,
get punched off someone who you should have get punched off, cheat on your girlfriend, whatever it is, come in late, and then your reality kicks in and you go, I need to make some money here, and you got in the right path of where you want to be. Now that is my reason why knife crime is where we are, because as a society we are now more worried about what other people think to what we should actually be thinking about.
And you know what? I'm gonna say something about your idea.
And the science in there.
Well, I'm going to tell you about your idea. I've been saying this for ages.
Or do you agree then?
I've been saying this for ages.
Right, that's what I mean. And
because
I hate it. Sorry, no, it makes I get goosebumps talking about it. There's nothing worse than turning morning TV on and they're talking about knife crime going and they're slamming. We need to blame politicians. Listen, a politician does not put a knife in someone's hand. We need to blame the police. I went out with the police about 3 weeks ago and within 10 minutes we got a 13cm knife off the street. 10 minutes. The police, oh my God, they do some crazy work. And they've all, one of them had a black eye. Where'd you get that from? Oh, I got punched at a fight yesterday.
Did you I'll send it to you later. There's a guy who came on, police officer, and he done it, I know who the police officer is, but he done it kind of quietish, but he went on the news and he came on and he told, you know, as kids, we hate the police, we don't like them. You know, as kids, you do kids things, you do stupid. You're supposed to do that as a kid, like what we're saying. And the police has come on and he's like broke it down and he goes like, look, I'm scared to go out there now. He goes, I hate going out and holding body parts together, because the worst thing of holding the body parts together is my colleagues. Because they're scared to go out, they're underrun, they're not getting no money to police. And you know, I used to say as a kid growing up myself, just like everybody else, I hate the police, the police. But they've got to do a job, but they're not getting the means neither to do their job. So I just say with England, and I say it like this, the government don't care, because in the UK, it's around the world, we're facing so much different things, like we're saying with the ACE. Because, like, I'm going to catch up back on what you said, Robin. This is what happened to me. Racism. Ended up being a fighter, smacking everybody out and doing stupid things like that. One day I come home, had an argument with my mum. Mum, why did you born me here? So you imagine me going up to my mum and saying, Mum, why did you grow me and born me in England, considering she comes from Jamaica? Because it was a racism. And I says, Mum, why did you born me? So I ended up having an argument with my mum. And I looked on the side, and a lot of people don't even know this. People who know me know it, but a lot of people don't know. And I looked on the side and I saw my sister's tablets. And when my mum's turning, doing the cooking and the washing up, she didn't see me. I just downed all the tablets. And I got, because I was angry at me as a kid, it was my temper more than anything. So I left out the house, walked down the road, and then my mum must have turned around and realised it's in the bottle up, because it was for my sister, and realised it was open. And she must have phoned my dad. My dad's come out of work, because my dad come out of work about them days. You know, you got slapped them days. And I was like, whoa. So I got down by the shops, a place called David's Discount in Wolverhampton. I was growing up. And my dad's pulled up, he says, get in the car. I said, no, Dad. No, in that era, you don't tell your dad no. You don't do those things. But I did, because, you know, as a kid, in them days, it was be quiet and do what you're doing. So you had all this pent-upness and you didn't know where to put the pent-upness. So I was really hurt by somebody derogating me, telling me, go back on my banana boat. And I'm saying to him, what do you mean a banana boat? We're flying planes.
Do you know what I mean? Think about what you're saying now, for what that made you do. That's ACE.
It's ACE. This is what I'm trying to say. It's ACE. And this is the thing. When we was growing up, we got a smack on the arse. And it woke us up. I believe in this. I believe a child should get a smack, and I'm just going to say I'm going to just say that. I don't mean go around and humiliate.
There's no fine line between abuse and punishing your child.
I mean punishing your child if he's done something wrong. Right, you take the PlayStation off there. You've told him 15 times. You've cracked him around it. That's what I mean by punishing your child. You know what I mean? These people that abusing the child and barring them to death and child services are coming around. No, I don't mean that kind of policing, or you know.
But we got to the point where you can't even give your kids stern words. That's the problem.
The problem is as well, also, Byron, is when they took the law away from the parent being the parent and gave the law to the child, now most parents are scared for what the child's even telling them now, because they think they're going to be the ones that's done. We need to get that law, talk to the government, and kick it out. Because if we don't start changing these little things, it's going to be everybody's going to be ace.
I think all three of us can agree in this. You're raising. I've seen Rob's kid, and he's like a star, right? But you go,
he's polite.
it's polite. We can all agree this. A child and a teenager needs guidance, punishment and rules because they have not got the life experience at that point of their lives to know any better.
Now, how you punish? You see, I don't, because we used to get battered as kids.
Yeah, I did. Listen, my dad only hit me once, Rob. I told you, my dad only hit me once. I got my phone robbed, right, and it was like the fourth phone. And the previous week before, he bought me a moped, and it lasted 2 weeks. And police rugby tackled me off it, right? He hit me once. I still to this day remember him hiding behind the door, and he just went, "You little." Bang, that was me, lights out, done. I woke up next day. I woke up next day.
I would have been a boxer by the sounds of it.
I got on the floor, sat down, he went, "Don't ever make me do that again. Never again do that, man." Never again.
No, but that's what I mean by punching child. Give them that fear factor. You want me to do that again? If my dad gave me a clip, I'd be like, you know what?
See that was it in my era. We used to get we used to get battered. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking about you had a scuff on your shoes, you got battered. Now, I remember growing up, right, and thinking, to be honest, you know what I mean, this is just my personal point of view. I remember growing up thinking, you know what, when I have kids, I ain't going to lay a finger on them. Because I remember
what it felt like.
Now, there's different ways, you know what I mean? It's like some people might condone that, some people might not. Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong or it's right. I'm just talking about my experience.
Mate, you grew up to be 3 times world champion in boxing.
My little boy now.
Not everybody can probably have that though.
But then again, that's down to individual because there's always going to be good and bad
choices.
No, but it's like now. I've got a little boy of 8, Oscar, he's called, and it's like, You know, I've got a good relationship with him. You know what I mean? It's very rare that I have to roast him or bollock him or whatever you want to call it. And when I do, it's just to raise the voice, Oscar, and you know what? And it's upset. It's so upset. It's as mad as it's. I'm a big softy at heart. Don't get me wrong. And he starts feeling, sorry dad, he starts filling up, and it's genuine as well. And then I start filling up. Do you know what I mean? Like I start getting upset because he's upset. Yeah, but I've got to hold myself together because I'm his dad. Do you know what I mean?
He's killing
I'm his dad, so I've got to stand firm on that one. But what the point I'm trying to get to is just from raising my voice, and like you say, different kids is different. You know, different ways to get it. My Oscar, Oscar, no, or whatever, and he'll stop, and like you say, he'll get upset, and I know when he's got upset, that he's genuine. He's genuinely sorry for what he's done. I'm not talking he's done anything major. I've just bought him a new toy and he's crashed it into a tree and he busted it or something. I'm like, Oscar, that costs money, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, he's only 8. But what the point I'm trying to make is...
passing down life skills.
That's what I mean. He loves playing on the Xbox with me and things like that. We play soldiers. All I do is if you don't behave, we're not going to be doing it. Oh, Daddy, no. That's it. That's my punishment to me.
That's the punishment.
Do you know what I mean? Now everybody's punishment are different. Some want to crack the kids or whatever. I'm not saying that's that's not my way of.
Like I say, no, I agree with you, Robin. Because like I said, we all got the battery. With my kid,
that was our era though. That was.
I've got a thing where I do with my kids is, what did I just say to you? And they'll be like, because they know that dad's voice level's going to go up. You know the voice level? Because I got smacked, so obviously, like you said, Robin, you don't really want to dish that out. Like, I have clipped my child around the face, because I've told you like 10 times not to do it, and you're not listening to me. I'm not here to hurt you, I'm here to support you. So you've got to listen to dad when dad's talking to you. So I try and do that. The hardest thing now, because of society and your kid, you're going to have kids telling your kids all this crap. So it's a kid's growing up. Your kid's got to do wrong. They're going to do stupid things. They're going to make a wrong move. This is part of growing up before you get into your adulthood. But I'm going to just say out to all these people out there, and I'll just say open and straight, let's get back to looking out for the youths. I remember when I was growing up, I'm not saying that we don't get smacked by the big kids and they didn't nick our little sweets, so we have to buy sweets so we don't get a slap and that. But at the same time, they used to put their arms around us. Nobody could come in the area and try and do something to us. They'd prevent that. There's the older kids, so they'd look out for the little kids. We need these bigger kids. Looking out for these little kids now, because sometimes I've noticed and what I see, because I know the badness on the streets. I used to be a bad boy myself, so I know what goes on. Sometimes it's these big people that are enticing the kids as well.
We're talking about grooming.
It's grooming. So it's a big. it's not just one thing that's causing it. I always say for one thing, it's a millions of things that cause this situation. So like he says, the bullying, the knife crime, the peer pressure.
They're all interlinked.
They're all interlinked. It's not one thing that's causing it.
Knife crime isn't skin. It isn't a hoodie. It isn't a male. It isn't a female. And it most definitely. And they asked me this question when I was on, I think it was BBC a few months ago. Like, what do I compare the deaths in London to Preston? I said, no, that's a myth. That shouldn't even be coming out your mouth. One death anywhere in the country, because people segregate each other all the time through skin, male, female, hoodies, gangs.
I mean, it used to be north and south.
Yeah, exactly. But at the end of the day, it's one country. What we're talking about, we're all human. So what on earth are people talking about when they try and compare deaths from postcodes and everything? It's non-existent. The simple fact is, after all what we've just discussed now, what I'm getting, which I think you'll both agree, knife crime isn't anything but culture. Culture has evolved through no fault of our own and created this. Granted,
even music, even
the only one, but you imagine it's because we've allowed that to happen.
Loads of things.
Yeah, it's like the only one thing I'll say what the government could do, and I do believe that maybe. I do believe this, not maybe. I do believe that if they say the living expenditure was lower than what it is to what the minimum wage is, I do think people could earn a decent living without having to go out there and do. I know I've got friends that are bad still, and I can't hang around with them after this job, and they know that and they respect me for it. They'll go out in one night and learn a month's wage. And I'll be like, how have you done that? Why are you risking yourself? And they'll go, well, why would I go to work 9 to 5, get some guy shouting at me who has no idea who I am, what I've done in my life, when I can go out and earn it in a night? And I do get that.
I understand. I get it because I know.
It's the rat race. It sounds very stupid. When I was a kid, you can go to the shop of £1 and come out with a full bag worth of stuff. You go to the shop now of £1.
Can't buy nothing.
No. You can't buy nothing apart from a
can of Coke. How much is a can of Coke?
That's 70p or something. You can buy a scratch card for £1. That's gambling. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't understand this. Like when we do the talks, that you can buy knives now for 99p off certain websites that I legally can't mention.
Hold on, you could listen. You can go to the shop.
That was an interesting fact.
I
talked that we were at the other day, I can't remember. I remember it was your talk the other day, and the guy was saying about he died. Oh God, what was it now? Oh, gambling with teenagers. And it was like he said, like, you know, what are the highest things that he said, like, you know, knife crime.
Oh, the four killers of young people. Gambling. And I never believe gambling, but gambling's in there because
it's in there.
Because you look at it. Well, you look at it now. Every other advert on the TV, is bingo this, and because people think because it's bingo, it's not because they think, oh, you know, Mavis Blue rinse at the bingo on a Thursday night, it's still gambling. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can do it on the internet.
At the end of the day, back to what I said then as well, that actually works perfect. Rob just said, if you think people are gambling that, thinking it's innocent, this ain't gambling, it's bingo. Well, then you take into account that person, the average person who goes to bingo is going to be a low earner, a low income, which goes to have the fun. They're using that low income.
So it's going
on to then they go on to their children, which increases more poverty, which then increases ACEs, then which increases
people to go and rob.
Because now you've got
skill to get money.
So when people say, I said before, I hate it. I have to turn the TV over when there's politicians and people on the news, or is it Good Morning Britain, or all that, and they're sat there between them going, knife crime's your fault, knife crime's government fault, knife crime's police fault. No. Knife crime is humans' fault.
We cause it.
It doesn't matter what uniform you've got on or who you are.
Don't pinpoint nobody.
It's culture. That's why that question you always ask on the news again, TV, is that they're all confused at how can we stop knife crime and stuff like that. But the thing is, the reason why we don't understand it is because it's the first generation that we've gone into this, that we've never happened. You even think about it, and it sounds very weird, but World War I, World War II, right? They were bad times for our country, right? But why did we go to war? To better the next generation, which they both successfully did. Now this is the first time we've moved into a generation that we have no war against knife crime.
But what does war do? Remember, war carries on that mentality as well.
Well, I suppose that's full circle back to what me and Rob do. Is that
everything's full circle.
We're doing all this hard work now, so the generation after, which to be quite frankly, if I'm quite honest, it might even be the generation after that.
I think it's going to be the generation
that will benefit from our fruits of our labour.
It's getting back to
when I suffer my PTSD, Rob gets upset every single day when he talks about his skin. He does, and people see me crying my talks. I say to the kids at the end when I do the ACEs, and they all realise that I'm giving them a little tiny bit of my body every time I do a talk, right? But if we have to make sacrifices like that for the next generation, hopefully me and you can...
I mean, that's what it's about. That's why part and parcel why we're doing these stuff. It's because these kids, and you can see, like we did one at a local boxing club the other day. I was just going to see a friend as it goes, and we ended up there, like he mentored some kids and that as well. I think it was like 10 of them. So he says to me, so I'll have a little talk with these kids, will you? And I was like, Tommy ain't got long. He said, come on. So anyway, ends up sort of chatting to these, and they're all sat there, hands down the pack. They all had their hoods up. Yeah, we sat in a warm room, they're all sat there with their hoods up. So I'm trying to make it, and what you've got to find is you've got to get onto their level. That's no disrespect to these guys, I don't mean it on a level as a lower level, I don't mean that, I just mean on a level full stop. You've got to get on their level, you don't need to be, you coming in as an authority figure, you're going to switch off straight away. I'm not saying you've got to be effing and jeffing and all that, I don't mean that. What I mean is you've got to get on their level, talk to them, as human beings, as normal, guys, what you do is sat there with your hood up, is what I said to him. No one had an answer. I said, it's red hot in here, and I laughed and joked about it, because it didn't, if you want to sit there with your hood up, that's up to you, do you know what I mean? I'm not suffering, but I asked why.
It's the mentality.
Exactly, and it's just like that hoodie mentality, and I went, alright, cool, you all sit there with your hood up. Within half an hour, I'm talking to him and whatnot, I had them all training, like I say, we did the boxing gym. I had them all doing a bit on the boxing pads, and they loved it. I'm not saying they're all going to become boss. Some of them were actually decent.
But
some of them were decent,
and
they loved it. It was something different, and it was somebody. Because I said to him, I have a laugh with him. I said, "Hang on a minute, guys." I said, when I was 15, I wish a world champion or somebody, what I would achieve, what I've achieved. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but somebody had achieved what I'd achieved who come in and spoke to me. I'd have been like, wow.
Yeah, I'd have been on cloud 9.
I made the most of it. Wow.
Someone comes to me
Do you know what I mean? A world champion. And
that's
part of what we're talking about now is respect for other human beings. That's what we've lacking. All of us.
Yes.
It's like the other day I was in the gym, I'm on the cross trainer. And there was an oldest lady next to me on the cross, and she was going for it. I mean, I'd proper go for it. And at the end, and I thought, good girl, go on, keep going. In my head, I'm saying this. And when I finished, I thought, you know what, I want you to give her a high five. You can't. Exactly. You should sit there and it was doing me head in because I thought, just say to her.
I never knew you felt like, because I do. So I'm pro. I used to be Northwest champion in 2018, and you can imagine I was 4% body fat. Everyone used to look at me in the gym like, right, because I put the hard work in and stuff like that. And I have honestly in the past, because I'm a personal trainer as well. I've gone here, mate. I'm not being funny. I'm in good shape. I'm doing this competing, blah blah blah. Can you just lift your arm? Look, mate. I just don't want you hurting yourself. And they'll go, why are you telling me that for?
Exactly,
I'm like, mate, I work here. What you mean?
On the offensive. On the offensive, straight away. It's just like you say, like this. All I wanted to do was just go, well done there. I mean, she didn't have a clue what I wanted. It didn't matter.
She would have made a complaint about it.
I mean, give a little nod afterwards. But I just thought, and straight afterwards I thought, you know what? Isn't it sad in this day and age, in this society, that we can't even say, oh, well done, without worrying about she's going to take offence to it.
Social media has removed our social power.
But you know what I do? And I say to everybody is this. Every day, speak to somebody new.
Exactly. I still
this is how it works. This is how it works. Speak to somebody new. Sometimes adults, you need to remember that you used to be a kid yourself.
Exactly.
Some parents don't realise that as well.
Yeah.
And I just think that if we all come together, you're doing a brilliant thing.
Yeah.
SGF, Safety Guide Foundation, is doing a brilliant thing. But remember, people, Safety Guide Foundation hasn't got one platform. They've got a fair few platforms in the Safety Guide Foundation. The time is going to be wrapping up now. So what I'm going to say to people is, have you heard today the conversation with Robin, the conversation with Byron? This shows that people would class us as nobodies. This is a guy that probably didn't pass school. Robin was a guy that was being bullied at school. And do you think people of us would be here trying to make the change of the world when we've got people in higher positions that's doing nothing? So my philosophy is, come on, let's get together. Let's try and make this change. I'm going to guarantee you once again, this change is not going to come about unless we all start working together, because it's not just a Manchester where we are today. Manchester that's trying to make the change, and it's Manchester's got to do all of the job to make the change. No, we're all a part of it, and we all need to feed into this. If we don't feed into this, the change will not come. These people are here with ourselves, with other people that we work with, and we're trying to make this change. We can't make this change on our own. You need to buy into this mentality, because it is a mentality and it's a change of mindset. We're living in a world of mindsets where people are down, got no money, want to kill themselves, want to rob people. anger issues, violent issues, mental issues. It's negativity. I just want people like ourselves today and people that's been on the show. It's a positive vibe.
A simple hello, a simple hello,
Yeah,
or a simple nod of the head. When you pass somebody in the street, that could change somebody. It does me. I know it does me. Somebody said, especially if it's an attractive lady. No, that always helps.
No, but even that,
even that, a nudge even and you think, well, you feel good
it's
about
not
yourself.
a dating podcast, Rob. I'm single too.
But you feel good about yourself, and that goodness then spreads on to someone else.
And vice versa.
Yeah, you open the door for someone.
When someone gives you the negative feedback, then that also. I'm the type of person, I'll go to bed at night and I'll think of something that happened a week ago and I won't sleep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I try and turn my phone off after 8 o'clock.
But you sit in bed and you're thinking, I'm not a person.
Yeah.
So, I would like to say thank you very much, Byron, for having me on the show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming on, Robin. We are going to pack up now, and I'm going to just leave 2 words with Robin to leave with us and with Byron. How do you think we can change the community feel and bring
Byron,
the buzz back?
you go first, mate.
Going off what you just said then, obviously if people listen to this, hopefully they've taken on board what we said and our feelings and what we do and stuff like that. But like you said a minute ago, instead of buying into iPhones and trainers, how about you buy into yourself and your family and your mates?
Yeah.
And that way, a little bit of love and respect will go a mile. You'll change someone's day. You might say hello to someone, buy into that person,
completely change their day.
Completely change their day.
And also, I would like to add one thing onto that, which, as we all know, go to the gym and go and run on the
Exactly.
treadmill.
Focus on
the
something.
endorphins that come into your brain,
exactly.
Listen, we are both living proof.
Factor.
We are both living proof of that.
Yeah.
Because I went in the gym 6 hours after my brother was killed, and that saved my life.
Yeah.
Other things, I had my good partner and good people around me.
Yeah.
But that gym played a massive part in saving my life.
So you can make a simple changes, like I just said there. A simple hello, open the door for someone. How you doing, mate? Whatever. You know, we go into work. Everyone have a good weekend on a Monday.
Yeah.
And that's it. Do you know what I mean? Just simple things like that. It ignites positive vibes. Positivity breeds positivity. Negativity breeds negativity. If somebody can say to you something negative early on in your day, that can mess your whole day up.
No, it will mess
That will mess your whole day up. You'll be thinking of, especially I'm a thinker. Do you know what I mean? Oh God, I've upset somebody, what have I done? Blah, blah, blah. I want to put it right, blah, blah, blah. It might not even be that serious. Do you know what I mean? But it'll play on my brain, on my mind all day long. Yeah, I'm not saying from my negativity then, I'm going to go and do negativity to somebody else. But what I'm saying is,
I'm trying to make
if my focus of mine then is like, oh no, I'm worrying about this, worrying about that. Yeah, forgetting to open the door for someone, looking down while I'm crossing the street instead of looking up, being proud. You know, how you doing, mate? You okay? I actually said that to somebody the other day, and he looked like me like I was an alien just for saying, alright mate, how you doing? Do you know what I mean? It just I was in a good mood, blah blah blah, and he looked at me like I was a stranger. But he probably walked off, even though it wasn't a negative. He probably thought,
think about that for the rest of the day. No, you'll be thinking about that for the rest of the day.
And he was probably like, it was he. Do you know what I mean? I remember he wasn't saying it because of Robin Reid or anything. It was just a guy passing the guy and see, how you doing, pal? And that was it. So the important part, respect each other. We're all human beings, and let's pass on the message.
Pass on that message.
I done that on purpose. I played them up. So, like I says, thank you very much for coming on today, Byron. Thank you very much having you on as well, Robin. Thank you very much, Safety Guide Foundation, doing massive, brilliant things for the community. And one thing I would like to leave you in your mind today is a few words, and that is try to make a change. Thank you very much for episode 17, and we'll catch you on the next episode 18 when we release it online. Thank you.
Yay!
Bye.